The discovery in the year 2147. A small team of scientists landed on an old alien planet called Zarian 6. The planet was silent, cold, and covered with dark mountains. Strange blue plants grew between the rocks, and the sky was always a little purple. The team came from Earth. They were here to study ruins left by an ancient alien race called the Keepers. Nobody knew much about the Keepers. They were gone for millions of years, but their technology was still active in some places. Drive Marcus Rain led the mission. He was young, smart, and a bit arrogant. He often joked about the alien stories, saying they were just old myths. If these aliens were so powerful, he laughed, why are they all dead now? Along with Marcus, there was Dr. Elena Cho, a quiet but sharp xenolinguist, and Commander Jared, a military officer sent to protect the team. They had 5 more members, each skilled in different areas. After 2 days of searching, the team found a strange structure half buried in black rock. It looked like a temple, but not built for humans. The walls were tall, smooth, and covered with glowing alien symbols. No doors, just a single open path leading inside. This place gives me a bad feeling, Jared said. He held his weapon close. Marcus just smiled. Relax, it's just stone and dust. Inside, they found something unbelievable, a floating black cube. It hovered silently above a stone pedestal. The cube had no seams, no buttons, nothing to touch. It was smooth, almost like glass, but it gave off a low humming sound. Elena stared at the cube. It's not just a machine, it feels alive. Marcus walked closer. It's just a box, a fancy alien decoration. He circled the cube, mocking it. Then he raised his foot and gently kicked the pedestal. Nothing happened. He laughed. See, no gods, no curses, just a cube. But as he turned to walk away, the cube suddenly lit up. Glowing red lines ran across its surface. A deep, low sound filled the room. The air became heavy. What did you do? Elena shouted. I didn't do anything. The cube sent out a dark pulse, a wave of invisible energy that shook the ground. The team fell to their knees. Their helmets showed strange signals. The ground cracked beneath the temple. Everyone out, now, Commander Jared ordered. They ran as the temple began to collapse. Outside, the sky turned darker. Clouds moved in fast. Even though the planet had no weather before, something had changed. Back on their ship, they tried to understand what happened. The readings were off the charts. Something had been activated. Then, back on Earth, strange things began to happen. Animals started acting wild. Birds flew in circles and crashed into the ground. People felt sick for no reason. Machines failed. Satellites lost signal. Something invisible was spreading across the planet. A day later, Earth's command center received a strange signal from deep space. It was a message in an unknown language. The computers couldn't read it, but Elena recognized some of the symbols. It's Keeper language, she said. It says, you have awakened the judgment. Prepare. Marcus sat quietly in the corner. He looked pale. He kept hearing the cubes hum in his mind. Even though they left it on Zarion-6. He whispered, I think it's following us. Elena turned to him. You mocked it, didn't you? You disrespected something ancient. It was just a cube, Marcus replied, but his voice was shaking. That night, he had a terrible dream. He saw Earth burning, people running from dark shadows, and in the sky, the cube floated high above the planet, growing larger, watching everything. He woke up screaming. The next morning, a new rift opened in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It was like a tear in the sky, and from it, a deep, dark sound came. The same sound they heard in the temple. The curse had begun. The warning rift in the Atlantic Ocean stayed open for exactly 11 minutes. No one understood what it was. It looked like the sky had been torn apart, leaving a swirling black hole where clouds should be. Ships near the area went silent. Planes lost control. Satellites above the ocean stopped sending signals. Something came out of the rift, a sound, low, deep, and unnatural, like a heartbeat made of thunder. Around the world, people began to hear it, not through speakers or radios. They heard it inside their heads. At the Global Space Agency Command Center, deep underground in Geneva, alarms were flashing. Data was flooding in. Machines were failing. The power flickered every few minutes. We're picking up a signal, one technician said. It's not human. It's broadcasting in all directions, from space, from underground, from everywhere. Dr. Elena Cho was called to decode the strange language again. She had barely slept since returning from Zarian 6. Her eyes were red, her hands shaking, but when she saw the symbols on the screen, her fear turned to horror. It's a message, she whispered, from the Keepers. What does it say? The general asked. Elena spoke slowly. It says, you mocked the Sacred One. Judgment has begun. Humanity will be weighed. Someone in the room laughed nervously. Is this some kind of test? A prank? Elena didn't answer. She was staring at the live feed from the ocean. The rift was gone, but the water was glowing black, and dead fish floated for miles. Elsewhere in cities across the world, strange things began to happen. In Tokyo, all the lights turned red for 7 seconds. Then the city went completely dark. In Cairo, a boy started speaking in a deep alien voice, a language no one taught him. In Brazil, trees began growing faster than ever, breaking roads and buildings as if pushed by some unknown force. In New York, a giant hologram of the cube appeared in the sky for 3 minutes before vanishing. People started to panic. News channels called it the alien storm. Some said it was the end of the world. Others believed it was just the beginning of something worse. Dr. Marcus Rain had locked himself inside a medical room on the ship. He hadn't spoken to anyone for days. He was sweating, whispering to himself. Cameras showed him drawing the same symbol again and again, the cube with a line through it. Elena visited him. "You need to talk," she said. Marcus looked at her with hollow eyes. "I hear it every night. In my dreams, it talks to me." "What does it say?" "It says I failed the test, and now they're coming." On the moon base, scientists detected a strange object approaching Earth. It wasn't a ship, not a rock, not a comet. It was something unknown. "It looks like a machine," one said. "But it's not built like anything we know. It's growing, like it's alive." The object stopped just outside Earth's orbit. Then, without warning, all communication systems across the planet were interrupted. Screens flickered, phones died, electricity turned off in millions of homes. For 66 seconds, Earth was silent. Then a single word appeared on every screen, in every language: observe. Back in Geneva, Elena connected the dots. This isn't a simple punishment. They're watching how we react. They want to see if we deserve survival. "You mean they're testing us?" the general asked. Elena nodded. "Yes, but the test has already started, and we didn't know we were part of it." In the skies above London, a giant rift opened. This time, something came through. It wasn't a creature, it wasn't a ship. It was a floating structure, black, silent, with moving parts and glowing red lines. It slowly drifted across the city, watching, recording. Everyone who looked at it felt cold, as if their soul was being scanned. A priest in a small church fell to his knees and cried, "We are not alone, and we are not ready." Marcus finally came out of his room. "They gave us a chance," he said to Elena, "and I ruined it." "Then help us fix it," she replied. He nodded, but then paused. "You don't understand. It's not about fixing. They want us to prove we're not like the others." "Others?" Marcus looked out the window into the stars. "Yes, they've done this before. To other planets, to other species, and none of them passed." As the chapter ends, cameras from a satellite catch something horrifying: a planet far away that looks just like Earth, but completely dead. No water, no life, no light. And above it floats the same black cube. Humanity has little time. The watchers are here, and the test has begun. The first collapse. 3 days had passed since the first rift opened over the Atlantic. In those 3 days, the world changed. Governments were no longer in full control. Cities were breaking down. The skies looked darker, not from clouds, but from something that couldn't be seen with the eye. Something pressing down on Earth like an invisible hand. People were afraid. They stayed in their homes. Internet was broken. Electricity was weak. Global communication was only working through old, protected systems now being run by military networks. In Tokyo, the sky split open. A rift, wider than any before, formed directly above the city. But this time, it was different. The rift didn't just open, it bled. A thick, black fog poured from it, covering skyscrapers and streets within minutes. The fog moved like it was alive, slipping through windows, doors, cracks in the ground. Anything it touched stopped working: lights, cars, phones. People began screaming. Some tried to run. Some simply froze where they stood, their eyes wide in terror as the fog touched their skin, and they turned silent, not dead, not alive, just frozen. As if time had paused only for them. Within 1 hour, Tokyo was gone. The world called it the first collapse. News couldn't explain it. Scientists were silent. Only one person spoke clearly about it. Drive Marcus Rain. He stood in front of a global emergency council and said one sentence that silenced everyone. "They have decided to begin the harvest." Elena looked at him with shock. "What harvest?" Marcus replied. "They're not just testing us anymore. They're cleaning the board." On the other side of the world, in a deep underground bunker in Iceland, a group of scientists worked on analyzing the alien energy. They used the last functioning quantum telescope to study the orbiting cube-like object, now floating near Earth's moon. One scientist gasped as he zoomed in. "It's changing," he whispered. The cube was growing, but not in size. It was growing in complexity, new layers forming. New shapes moving across its surface like shifting puzzles. It's building something, another said. Or becoming something. A moment later, their monitors went black. The telescope melted from the inside. Meanwhile, more rifts appeared, this time across 5 continents at once. The skies of Moscow, Cape Town, Sydney, Delhi, and Los Angeles turned a strange shade of violet. People around the rifts began to hear whispers in their minds in a language they didn't know, but somehow understood. You were warned. Your kind repeats the sins of the old. The keepers have watched before. Commander Jared, still part of Elena's team, watched the chaos from the high-orbit space station below him. Earth didn't look like it did a week ago. Small black dots had appeared across the surface like bruises on a living body. They were spreading. These aren't rifts, he said. They're wounds. The planet is being infected. Elena said softly, slowly, carefully. Marcus nodded. And no weapon we have can stop it. Panic spread across Earth's military forces. They launched missiles at the largest rift, the one above the former city of Tokyo. The missiles disappeared before reaching it. No explosion, no smoke, they just vanished. Then something new happened, a voice, not from a machine, not from a person, from everywhere. It echoed in every mind. Deep, old, cold. You were given time. You answered with arrogance. Now you will be measured. In Africa, a group of children who had never used technology began drawing the same symbol, the black cube, in the dirt. In India, a man woke up speaking fluent keeper language, even though he had never heard it before. He died hours later, bleeding from the eyes. In France, a woman looked at her baby and saw its eyes turn pitch black for a few seconds. Before returning to normal, the child would not stop smiling. In space, the cube pulsed once, a wave of energy hitting the moon. The moon cracked. Not fully, not visibly, but deep inside, something broke. Sensors showed a sharp spike in magnetic disturbance. One scientist whispered, if they break the moon, tides will go wild, our planet will collapse. And then a message appeared on the last working satellite network. Phase 1, judgment complete. Phase 2, cleansing begins. On Earth, all around the world, the silent cities began to speak. From the mouths of those frozen by the black fog, those who had turned into silent statues, came a deep, unnatural voice. Every statue said the same sentence in perfect unison. The sacred balance has been broken. Return the offering. What offering? Elena asked, horrified. Marcus finally understood. His voice shook. Me, they want me. In that moment, everyone in the room went quiet. They all realized something terrifying. This entire curse, this global collapse, had started with one man mocking one artifact on one dead planet. And now, all of humanity was paying the price. The ancient truth. It had been 6 days since Marcus touched the artifact on Zarian 6. 6 days since the curse began. Earth was no longer the planet people once knew. Oceans shimmered with black veins. Mountains began to glow with symbols that were never there before. The moon's pull became unstable. Some areas had floods, others had deadly droughts. The planet was reacting like a body under attack. But it wasn't just nature, time itself was shifting. People in some cities reported seeing flashes of the past, ancient animals, forgotten buildings, even long-dead relatives, for a second, then gone. Others claimed they saw the future, burning skies, alien machines, and the world in ruin. Governments had fallen silent. The United Earth Council, hiding in a deep bunker in Alaska, sent out one final global message: find the source, or we will all be erased. On board the orbiting station, Elena stared at data streaming from deep space satellites. The alien cube had changed shape again. Now it looked like a twisted version of a human skull. Marcus stood beside her. He hadn't slept in days. We need answers, she said. Then we go back, he replied. Back where? Zarian 6, the artifact, the ruins, the truth began there, and maybe the way out is there too. Against all advice, a small team was sent to Zarian 6 only for people: Marcus, Elena, Commander Jared, and an eye-driven drone called KAE-7. They landed near the ruins. The planet was different now. The air was thick, gravity felt wrong. Colors around them seemed to shift slightly when no one was looking. The ruins had grown taller, and the cube pedestal was no longer broken. Instead, a stairway had appeared, leading deep underground. They followed it. At the bottom was a massive chamber, filled with ancient walls that shimmered with alien symbols. The room was silent, except for a soft hum, the same hum Marcus had heard in his dreams. Kai-7 translated the symbols. This is not a prison, I said slowly. This is a courtroom. They found a massive circular table in the center with 7 empty thrones, each one shaped for a different alien species. And on the far wall, a gigantic mural showed a story, civilizations reaching for the stars' artifacts, being given to them, tests being failed, planets burning bit. Then, a final piece, one small world still burning but fighting back. The keepers didn't rule the galaxy, Elena said. They watched it, judged it. What if the artifact wasn't a trap? Marcus said. What if it was an invitation? Kai-7 processed for a moment. The artifact is a gateway. A message delivery system. It is not evil, but when disrespected, it activates judgment protocol. So when I mocked it, Marcus whispered. You spoke before the court of the galaxy, Kai-7 replied. And your words were heard. Then the AI froze. Incoming signal, Kai-7 said. Source, not from this planet, not from this dimension. Suddenly, the walls lit up. The chamber went dark, and then a figure appeared, not a hologram, not a human. Not fully real. It looked like a tall shadow wearing something like robes made of stars. Its face had no eyes, but every person who looked at it felt seen. It spoke, not in sound, not in words. It spoke directly into their thoughts. You found what others failed to understand. You returned not to fight, but to know. Speak now, human, why should your kind survive? Everyone turned to Marcus. His mouth opened, but no words came. The weight of the question crushed him from inside. Then, slowly, he said, because we learn. We make mistakes, but we learn, and this time the mistake was mine, not theirs. The shadow paused. Then you will be shown the first truth. The floor opened. Below it was a massive crystal glowing with blue light. Inside, Marcus saw images, not with his eyes, but with his mind. He saw 1,000 planets, each one receiving the artifact. Each one mocking it, each one dying. He saw civilizations greater than Earth's, more advanced, more peaceful, but they all failed. Then he saw something different. A planet with war, pain, broken systems, and yet somehow hope, unity, resistance. Earth. The voice returned. You are not chosen. You are not special, but you are unexpected. Your trial is not over, but your voice has reached the old ones. The image faded, the shadow vanished, and carved into the floor beneath them was a new symbol. A small flame surrounded by darkness, as they left the chamber. Kai-7 reported something shocking. The cube near Earth, it stopped changing. And all rifts have paused. Back on Earth, for the first time in a week, there was quiet. But it wasn't peace. It was silence before the next judgment. The keepers had heard humanity's voice. And now, they were watching even more closely because Earth, unlike the others, had spoken back. The resistance rifts had stopped growing. The skies calmed. The whispers faded. For a brief moment, the world was silent. People came out of hiding. Birds flew again. Machines restarted. For the first time in 7 days, it felt like the curse was lifting. But Dr. Elena Cho knew better. It's not over, she said. This is not peace. It's the next move. Marcus nodded. They're watching, waiting, testing what we do now. And humanity began to move. In bunkers, labs, and ruined cities, the smartest minds came together. Not for power, not for politics, but to survive. The United Survival Coalition (USC) was born, a group of scientists, engineers, soldiers, and thinkers from every country working without flags. They had one goal: to resist. To fight the Watchers. To prove that Earth would not fall like the others. The first plan was called Project Echo. The idea came from Kai-7, the alien eye that had helped on Zarian 6. The artifact responds to resonance, Kai-7 explained. Sound, vibration, emotion. It hears what you are, not what you say. So humans began building a machine, not a bomb, not a weapon. A resonance cannon designed to send back a signal into the cube, a voice of resistance. Built from music, memory, emotion, and human thought, they called it the Pulse of Earth. Deep under Greenland, in the last safe facility with clean energy, the device was built. It was powered by a strange mix of alien tech and human creativity. Sound waves turned into frequencies, shaped by art, poetry, even dreams. It wasn't science alone. It was soul. Marcus gave it the final command code. Elena designed the pattern, but before they could fire it, something terrible happened. In Brazil, one of the silent zones suddenly moved. For days, the fog over Rio had been still, frozen in the air like thick glass. Then it shifted, crawling across the earth like a living shadow. Anyone it touched turned cold and blank, not dead, but changed. They still looked human. But they spoke in one voice. We are the echo of judgment. The infected formed a circle around the main city. They didn't attack, they just watched. Meanwhile, in space, the cube above the moon began cracking, but it wasn't breaking. It was opening. Inside, For the first time, humanity saw a light. Blue, sharp, and endless. Satellites melted just by looking at it, Elena said. It's not a machine anymore. Marcus added, it's becoming a gate. Chi 7 confirmed, the next phase is no longer judgment. It is rival, ***, with time running out, the US decided to activate the pulse. But to reach the cube, the signal had to be sent from the upper ionosphere. To high for drones. To dangerous for satellites. Someone had to carry it by hand. A suicide mission, Commander Jared volunteered. If we want to survive, he said. We have to do more than run, we have to roar. Jared's ship, the Nova's Breath, was launched into the upper sky with limited fuel. Wrapped in radiation shielding and armed with the pulse generator. As he reached orbit, the cube turned to face him. Yes, it moved, not like a ship. Like a living god, and it looked at him. Jared felt its presence, not in his eyes, in his mind. It showed him flashes, planets dying, species falling, voices crying out. He gripped the controls tighter. You want to weigh us, he shouted. Then, hear our voice. He hit the trigger. ***, the pulse of Earth was released. A beam of light, made from every recorded sound of Earth, every language, every heartbeat, every laugh, every cry, shot toward the cube. For a moment the stars froze. ***, the cube pulsed back, not in anger, but confusion. It paused. As if it was listening. Then, for the first time, a new voice came through, not alien, not machine. Something in between. You have spoken, you have offered a song, not a scream. You are not like the others, ***, on Earth. The fog retreated from Rio. The infected fell unconscious. The rifts dimmed. Jared's single quotes. A ship fell from orbit, burning, crashing into the sea, but no signal was lost. The pulse remained echoing across space. ***, but the story wasn't over. Because at the center of the cube, now open wide like an ancient eye, something began to step through. A being, not a monster, not a machine, something older than both. Something with hands shaped like time, and a voice that bent gravity. KAE-7 spoke one word. And for the first time, its voice shook. Envoy ***, the keepers had listened. And now, they were coming in person. Not to destroy, not to save. But to meet the ones who dared to speak back. The last stand. Appeared in the sky like a dream that refused to end. Above the Earth, where the cube once floated in silence, now stood the envoy, the first visible representative of the keepers. Its body was not made of matter. It was light, shaped like a cloak. Its face was a circle of shifting stars. It had no eyes, no mouth, no form that matched any creature in the universe. But when you looked at it, you felt like it knew everything about you. ***, the world stopped. Literally. For 3.4 seconds, all time sensors across the globe froze. Nothing moved, not the wind, not a single heartbeat. And then the voice returned. Not in the sky. Not in the air. Inside every living mind. You have delayed the pattern. You have disrupted the judgment. Now you must offer something that has never been given. ***, inside the orbital station, Elena gripped the railing as the station shook gently. Marcus was already recording everything. Chi 7 floated silently, processing the data coming from the envoy. What does it mean? Elena asked. Chi 7 replied. We are being asked to do what no species has done before, which is prove we deserve to exist. ***, on the ground, across ruined cities, people came out into the open. Some knelt. Some stood. Some cried, but they all looked up. The envoy slowly lowered its arm, or what looked like an arm, toward the planet, and in that moment, something impossible happened. Everyone shared the same vision. ***, in a world between time and space. Humanity saw the truth. They saw the ancient keepers, once explorers, turned into watchers. They saw planet after planet fall, not from war, but from arrogance, greed, and silence. They saw how the artifact was never a trap, it was a mirror. And they saw one last thread of light, Earth, small, damaged, chaotic, but fighting. ***, and then, the vision ended, but a countdown began. It appeared on every screen, every satellite, every broken device. 0 hours 23 minutes and 59 seconds, the final hour. Either Earth proves itself, or it becomes the next silence in the galaxy. ***, we can't fight it, Elena said. Not with guns, not with science, not with force. Then how do we stop this? Jared asked, now patched in from his recovery chamber. Marcus stood up. We don't stop it, he said. We speak to it. Everyone stared at him. We tell it our truth. ***, Project Last Spark was born within minutes. The USC gathered every remaining signal station on the planet. They reached out to every city, every survivor, every child and elder. They asked for one thing, send a message, not to beg, not to explain, just to be human. Songs were sung. Memories were shared. Letters were written. People recorded their regrets, their hopes, their stories, the best and worst of themselves. Asterisk asterisk, and at the top of the orbital tower, Marcus uploaded the final piece. A small video of his daughter laughing, running through a field. She had died years ago from illness, but in that moment, her voice became the voice of Earth. He added a message: we are not perfect, but we try. We make mistakes, but we also make music. And love and second chances, we don't ask to be spared, only to be seen. Asterisk asterisk, the envoy paused. The stars inside its face shifted, slowed. The countdown continued. 00:00:12 Marcus looked up, tears in his eyes. Please hear us. Asterisk asterisk 0 hours 0 minutes and 3 seconds asterisk asterisk, and then nothing. The countdown disappeared. The cube shattered like dust in the wind. The envoy slowly faded, not in anger, not in defeat, but in peace. Asterisk asterisk Chi-7's voice came through. Signal gone, rifts closed, anomaly stable, planet safe. Asterisk asterisk Earth took a breath. Birds flew. People laughed. The planet didn't cheer. It simply exhaled, because this was not a victory. It was a second chance. Asterisk asterisk in the sky, where the cube once hovered, only a small light remained, soft, warm, steady. Elena looked up. What is that? Chi-7 whispered, a mark, not of judgment, but of memory. Asterisk asterisk the envoy was gone, but they had left something behind. Not technology. Not destruction, but a message to the galaxy. This species spoke back. This species listened. This species might become something more. Asterisk asterisk. The curse broken. It had been 40 hours since the envoy disappeared. 40 hours since the rifts vanished. 40 hours since the cube cracked into dust and the skies returned to blue. The world was silent, but not broken. For the first time in known history, humanity had faced a higher force and survived. But the price was not measured in blood or fire. It was measured in truth. Asterisk asterisk cities began to rebuild slowly. Not with noise and pride, but with quiet hands and tired eyes. People no longer asked, how do we fight? They asked, how do we begin again? Governments formed a new council, not for power, but for understanding. And in the center of it all stood a new symbol, a child's hand holding a small flame. The emblem of survival. The emblem of memory. Asterisk asterisk on Zarian 6, the ruins were now a protected zone. No one dared touch the altar again. A new monument stood beside it, simple, smooth, uncarved. Blank. It was left empty for a reason. Let the next ones write their story, Elena had said. Asterisk asterisk Marcus Rain lived quietly now, far from the cities, by the sea. He had become both legend and warning. People said he had spoken to gods. Others said he had cursed the world, but Marcus didn't argue. He simply sat each night, watched the stars, and whispered one question: are they still watching? Asterisk asterisk then one night, something returned. Not a rift, not a cube. A single beam of soft blue light silently floating in the sky above the Atlantic. Not threatening, not loud. Just waiting. Scientists observed it for weeks. No sound, no pulse, no movement, until Chi-7, now Earth's chief alien analyst, finally spoke. It's not a weapon, I said. It's a key. A key to what? Marcus asked. Chi-7 answered, to the next level of the test. Asterisk asterisk Earth had passed the judgment, but the curse wasn't destroyed because it never was a curse. It was a question. A question sent into the galaxy long ago. Who are you? Most species answered with silence, others with anger, some with logic. Only one had answered with story, with emotion, with music. Asterisk asterisk, and now, the Watchers had left a door open. Not just for humans, but for what humanity could become. Asterisk asterisk deep underground, a message was found, buried in the ruins of Tokyo. Inside a black crystal that had fallen from a rift, the message was not from the Keepers. It was from a species long gone, their final log. It read, we failed because we believed we were the center. We died because we stopped listening. If you find this, do not try to conquer the stars. Try to understand them. Elena read it out loud at the New World Forum. And no one clapped. No one cheered. They simply sat in silence. And finally understood. Asterisk asterisk in schools, children now studied the artifact not as an object of fear, but as a lesson. They didn't call it the curse. They called it the mirror. Asterisk asterisk one day, decades later, a small child stood beside the light beam floating over the ocean. He reached out with his hand, and the light flickered gently in response. Like a heartbeat, he smiled and asked his mother, will it come back? She replied, maybe, when we're ready. Asterisk asterisk, because the Keepers were not gone. They were watching from beyond space, beyond time. Not with hate. Not with control, but with the one thing humanity had finally earned: respect. Asterisk asterisk, the last image fades. In silence, a galaxy full of tiny blue lights. One of them is Earth, still burning, still learning, still alive.